What is up, guys? Welcome to Vlogmas day number 31 or day 1 of 2025. I don't know exactly what to name this video. I had this idea not too long ago. I wanted to be the first YouTuber, the first person ever, or the first person, to upload a video in 2025. So this is what this video is. If you guys are watching this in 2025, January 1st, you're a real one. But if you're watching it like January 1st, at 12:01 a.m. you a real one even more. So if you guys are watching this video, well, you guys are going to be watching this video in 2025. So what is up, 2025? Hey, let's see what this year brings us, man. Now, I don't know if this concept has ever been done. I've never seen something like this. I want to name the title of my video, very first person to upload in 2025. Is that kind of corny or what? You know, like, I feel like I just thought about this out the blue, right? I was just thinking one day, I was like, what if I'm the very first person to upload in 2025 and I'm gonna schedule this video for then? So it's currently the 31st in 2024, December 31st. It is currently 8:15, so we are about 4 hours shy of 2025. So I feel like it's a dope concept, you know? Like, I'll go down in history as myself. Like, I'll go down in history knowing that I was the first person to upload in 2025 as a YouTuber. There got to be a whole bunch of other people that are thinking just like me, so if y'all are doing the same thing as me, man, shout out to y'all. 2024 has been the most transformative year I've ever lived through, with challenges that I went through that have shaped me in ways I could never imagine. I want to share something kind of deep with you guys and personal, just because I think I've gotten to that level with YouTube. Starting off with, if there's something I learned big this year, is that if you believe in something, make sure you stick to it. Take me as an example. I come from a small town in Maryland. Originally, I was born in California. LA, California! Like, that's crazy to think about. I've always felt like I was meant for something big in life. I never always knew what I wanted to do. By the age of 14, I remember having this spark come in my head. I wanted to start creating content when I was 14. But my mom, who was raised differently in her culture, had other ideas. And when she found out I was uploading on YouTube, she strictly and really put it down on me to never upload a video on YouTube. At that time, she said to never upload a video again. And I listened to her, you know? I'm a 14-year-old boy. Of course, I had to listen to her in a way, right? But always in the back of my mind, throughout all these years, that passion of creating content never left my mind. It always stuck. That idea always kept coming back throughout the years. That feeling of wanting to tell stories, entertain, has stayed with me all these years, and now I'm 25. I'm happy to say that my 14-year-old self will be so proud of 25-year-old me now. It took quite some time to get where I wanted to be with content creating and all that, but I'm happy to say where I am right now is the best I've ever felt in my whole life. So let's get into the story a little bit. At the start of 2024, the end of 2023, like fourth quarter, I started to realize the path I was heading in, the road I was heading on, I felt like I was wasting my time, and it ended up being true. I lost a big opportunity that I was in, if you even want to call it lost. I now see it like I gained something from that time. I lost something to gain something. A door closed for thousands of other doors to open. I remember at the end of 2023, there was 2 days I vividly remember I could not get out of bed. I was just so in shock, knowing and feeling the loss of the company I was working with. Now, I don't know how deep I want to get into this, but I was working for this company for a year and a half, probably a little bit more. I was putting my blood, my sweat, my tears, I was putting everything into this company. The company was literally in my hands. And then one day, I just felt like it just fell through. I lost it all. That's how it felt. So when I lost it all, it felt like I was falling apart. But looking at it back now, I feel like everything was just falling into place, which is crazy to think about, because when I was in that time period, I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I was in my lowest. I was at rock bottom. Roman has mentioned this before. You gotta hit rock bottom to know that there's only one thing you could do, is move up. So I felt like I was in rock bottom around fourth quarter 2023. That loss really forced me to look deep into myself and think about what is it that I really wanted. So I took it upon myself at the end of 2023, December 31st, just like this last year, I told myself, we're gonna make 2024 our year. My New Year's resolution last year was to spend a whole year creating content on YouTube. Strictly YouTube, but I have been creating content on TikTok, on Instagram, but YouTube has been my main focus this whole year. When I started focusing on my own platform, I was speaking from my voice, from my body. It felt real for once. So that's when at the start of 2024 and a little bit of 2023 towards the end, I was still working with OKQ, which is based down in Atlanta, Georgia. I was working with him in January, and then you remember how I told you guys when one door closes, thousands of other doors open? That's literally what happened with OKQ down in Atlanta. One door closed with the company I was working with, but literally infinite doors have now opened ever since I started working with OKQ, officially at OKQ Customs down in Atlanta, Georgia. To mention some of the doors that opened, one of them is working with OKQ, the influencer. 2, working on Kai Sinat's Trackhawk. 3, working on Poppy Q's, well, Quan, because he likes getting called Quan instead of the other word. Working on his Trackhawk, his Charger, his Lamborghini Urus, and probably any other vehicle that he ever buys. But I'm literally networking with all these content creators down in Atlanta, and to think in 2023, I was losing my mind, not knowing where my path was heading. The whole time, like I said earlier, my path was only getting created literally when it was getting broken at the time. All these experiences I'm living through literally showed me one thing: as long as you believe in yourself and stay consistent with your work, life is literally going to reward you with so many blessings. Another big influencer I worked with recently is Melt is Live. Melt is Live is a streamer on Twitch. He also has YouTube, he also has Instagram, TikTok and all that, but he's mostly known on Twitch. The crazy thing about Melt is Live is that he is from Maryland, the same state I am from. Me and him were chit-chatting whenever he took his car and picked it up from OKQ Customs. Me and him were talking back and forth, and he literally used to live 30 minutes from me. That just goes to show that there are people around my area that are making it. So it just motivates me more knowing that I have neighbors around me that have made it out of Maryland and are now doing bigger things in Atlanta. Just gives me so much more fuel to work with. We even were talking about how his mom wasn't supportive of him doing social media, but one difference between me and him was that he didn't listen to his mom. So he said he just went ahead and started creating content, and once his parents saw the actual income and the actual flow of things, they said, okay, go ahead and do this. Now he has over 100,000 followers on Twitch, which is still a lot of followers, you know? I'm just at barely 4,000 followers on Instagram, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I feel so incredible about those numbers that I have right now, that I know when the numbers start slowly racking in, I'll be so grateful over every single follower, subscriber I receive in the future. The cool thing about my parents is they're slowly starting to come around and understand what social media can actually contribute to your life. They still kind of believe a 9-to-5 is better than social media, but I'm gonna prove them wrong. I'm gonna prove them wrong this 2025. I'm gonna prove that social media is where I belong. I'm gonna prove to them that I myself can rise up from a small town in Maryland and achieve what other people have achieved in Atlanta, Houston, Texas, LA, Seattle, Chicago. All those bigger cities are in a map. Maryland is kind of at the bottom of the map, so see why it's a little bit harder for them to understand for me to make it where I need to make it. One person I want to thank for sure is my girlfriend Heron. Man, if there's one person that has always been there for me and pushes me every day to actually keep posting content, she literally has been with me since 2017. And to think about that, I've always been kind of like recording a little bit here and there on Snapchat, Instagram. She never once said, don't record me, don't do this and that. She always supported me from day one. We now share a beautiful boy named Damien, which you guys have seen in my vlogs before. But we are the loving parents of a little boy, which I know one day is gonna look up to me. He already is looking up to me. He sometimes grabs my camera and starts saying that he's vlogging. So to think that I am gonna encourage my son one day to create his own content, and I'm gonna be there for him. Not that I'm mad at my mom for not being there for me, but just think about how if I was 14 creating content, where I would be today. It would be 11 plus years of content built up over time on YouTube. I don't want to be cocky or anything, but I think I would have been up there already if I was creating content ever since I wanted to start when I was 14. But I truly believe everything happens for a reason. If I wasn't creating content back then, I think it was for a reason, right? Now that I've taken this whole 2024 year period to start creating content on YouTube, and 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, and so forward. I think all of that happened for a reason. I think my mom actually stopped me for a good reason. Looking back at it now, looking back at it, you know, looking back at it as my 25-year-old self, I would tell my 14-year-old self, Julio, just be patient. It's not your time yet. Let's wait until you're 24 to start really creating the content you want to create. So looking back at it, they weren't really setbacks. They were just the start of what I am today as we come into 2025. If there's one thing I want to leave you guys with today, is to always believe in yourself. Even when it's hard, remember to always stick to what you love and never let the opinion of others outweigh your passion. This year started with me not knowing what I was gonna do with my life. It's ending with me realizing I had the answer this whole time. I just needed to believe in myself enough to chase it, you know? To anyone who's watching this and feels stuck, unsure, and afraid of what's coming next, remember that your story isn't over until you honestly give up. So keep going, keep believing in yourself, and don't ever let that vision you have in your mind die down. So here's to 2025, a year of chasing dreams, staying true to yourself, and believing in that passion that you have. So with that being said, thank you for being part of my journey so far, and let's make 2025 the best year yet. I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember to be kind, be positive, be consistent, and I'll see you guys later.